And this gentleman backed up and looked at me and said I would lick that. Hello, welcome to Middle-Aged Millennial MILF Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Strickland. It's a very special episode because this is my birthday. Yay! Happy birthday to me. I know, everyone's super excited. I'm turning 41, Monday the 6th. This will come out the 5th, which was actually my Nana's birthday, as well as my cousin Sam's birthday. And the funniest thing is that Nana liked me more because Nana was a narcissist, and I waited a day to be born. She did not like the fact that she had to share her birthday with my cousin Sam. So that really says a lot about the family. I mean, now that I kind of think about it, like that's not normal. It's just a birthday. And I also share it with my friend Glenn, which happy birthday, Glenn, and my best friend's sister. So October 6th is just a fire day. And my God, how different life is compared to last year. This time last year, we were going to Chicago. I was going back for the first time since I moved. It was the first time my kids and Drew had been there. We saw my cousin for the first time since I moved. I had quit my job in July. I was thinking about writing books. I was kind of floundering this time last year. I was super excited to turn 40, and I thought it would be my best decade, and it has been. But I had no idea what the year would hold for me. Last year when I was, visiting Sandwich and seeing how fucking depressing that was, and how I was telling Drew, I don't have any friends from Illinois that I've kept in contact with. I mean, there's a few on Facebook and stuff, but we don't talk. Like, that was never my home. And going back, even at 40, and being like, my God, this place is fucking trash and a half. And feeling honestly really sorry for little me that had to live there. And like, I never fucking belonged there. No, this was home. And the fact that I still have so many friends that I met in the 9th grade here really shows me too that this is home. Like, this is, so let's just go through the year. After my birthday, we had Author Nation, my first time, which was amazing. I got to hang out with so many authors that I loved. Kevin Smith invited me on stage, so that was like awesome. And it seems like things have just upped the ante since all of that happened. And it's been kind of a runaway train. And I've met so many people. I guess I've talked to so many people, and people that I really looked up to and thought were super cool on TV. And I've gotten to, Chad Wolf from Carolina Liar. Those are two of the greatest songs ever written, in my opinion. Show Me What I'm Looking For and I'm Not Over. And we fucking just chat. And Tasha, Seeking Sister Wives, Rachel, 90 Day Fiance. I mean, Ma fucking Sheila. I interviewed Ma fucking Sheila, Queen. Like, this is so cool. And this has opened so many doors. And this has really been therapeutic for me. And I also am really glad because my parents, I don't know if my father listened. I don't have any proof. I would really hope he did. I do know that Mom listened. And so, everything I had to say, they had to hear. And it was out in the open. And did this podcast kill them? No. They didn't even make it a year in. Maybe they really couldn't help their secrets being out. But I also, keeping their secrets in gave me a drug problem. And I don't want that drug problem. The other thing this time last year, I was super hopeful for the election. I had heard Kamala talk. I went to my first rally. I had tears in my eyes. I was like, I know this is how people felt about JFK. And I had convinced myself that she was going to win. I really was like, there's no way that people are this stupid to fall for this shit. And joke was on me, guys. I really overestimated the intelligence of the American people because, my God, we're in Nazi America right now. And even when I started this podcast, I had said that I wanted this to be a safe place and I didn't want, I was like, fine. You guys fucking won. You got your guy in. Maybe I'm missing something. Let's see. And all I have seen is Nazism and the First Amendment going away and the fucking bullshit of the right. Fine, you didn't like Kamala. Whatever. I did not realize how fucking racist and misogynistic the USA is. I really didn't. I had hope. And the fact that they really, like, the crux of this is that they didn't like Me Too and Black Lives Matter. Like, you didn't like that people came out and said they were getting raped and outed these rapists, and Black Lives Matter. How on earth can you have trouble with the phrase Black Lives Matter? It doesn't say they matter more than white people. It doesn't. It's just saying, hey, can't just shoot a black person. Not okay. They're people too. Like, that's literally all it's saying. And these people were like, let's put in a Nazi who does not have my well-being at heart. Like, this is a senile, crazy old man. We are not even a year in. It's fucking hell. I fucking hate MAGA. I fucking hate the right. I fucking hate you. I am that liberal that hates you. I know I shouldn't. I don't want to, but there are children starving in Gaza. People are being taken away by ICE. People are being fucking blown out of the ocean because of what, like we have the most inept government ever. None of these people are qualified. Of course, the first fucking millennial that we have in a really high position of power is fucking JD fuck the couch Vance. Thanks for that, JD. And I don't know if we're ever going to have an election again. So the world as a whole is worse than it was this time last year. Like, that, in my opinion, I don't think anybody else, like, are your eggs a lot cheaper, guys? Did he send you that stimulus check you thought you were going to get? Oh, no. He actually spent all your money on a ballroom so he could throw parties for his tech buddies. And monopolies are popping up all over the place. And I think that's also what makes me so mad is I was in advanced government. I was in these classes where we were learning that things shouldn't be happening that are indeed happening. And like, I gotta say, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Miss McDonald, you were not my favorite teacher in AP English. And in fact, when you went on about the unwashed masses, I thought, wow, like, that's kind of elitist. And now, as an adult, Miss McDonald, I owe you a huge apology. There are so many idiots and the unwashed masses. This is, you're not choosing to educate yourself. You're not reading the paper. You're not cross-referencing. You are watching Fox News, and whatever they tell you goes. You are an idiot, period. If you watch Fox News for the news, you are the unwashed masses. And there's no reasoning with stupid. Like, you can't reason with an unreasonable person, was something that my mom told me. And she was right. There is no reasoning with an unreasonable person or a dumb one. So take your pick, which you guys are. I'm going with dumb. Sorry, guys, that was my little tangent. I'm really, really not happy with where the world is right now. I'm really, really not happy, period. And I have to be very careful of what I say because I'm going to end up in alligator Alcatraz or something, I'm sure. Or they're going to try to reprogram me. I don't know. I really don't. I pray to God this time next year when I'm doing a birthday episode for 42 that things are much better. That things for everyone are better. That would be really nice. What else? It was such a big year. So Author Nation started the podcast. So found my passion, found this, this is me. And I ramble and I tell the same stories and I am annoying. And I'm sure that people watch my clips and they're like, she's a bitch and she gets, like, I know all of this, but I still love myself more than I love you. Because you all are pretty boring that are like that. Biggest thing, I mean, my parents are dead. This time last year, I was no contact. It was my birthday, and I thought, I'll hear from them. Like, if they're going to reach out, now is the time. And I will admit, I was very hurt and upset that they did not reach out. My parents did not reach out for my 40th birthday whatsoever. And I kind of came to terms with that. And even before everything happened with my dad, Drew was like, like, what happens if your dad just drops dead? And we didn't think it would happen. And I'm like, well, he made his choice. I can't invalidate everything that I went through that caused me this pain just to make their lives better. And then wouldn't you know, to the Maldives, which I had heard of the Maldives. Like, that was such an abstract fantasy that I couldn't even really go there. That's like, I'm a movie star fantasy, or I went to the Maldives. Like, we go to the Maldives, and then of course, my family must fuck up everything because everything they touch turns to shit. So, sepsis. It was just such the biggest juxtaposition in my life of being like, oh my God, is this my life? I'm in the Maldives, walking from our cabana into the ocean, like seeing, like, beautiful, to we're sitting in a fucking hospital room in Mesa, Arizona, deciding to cut my father's legs off. Like, that was such a mind fuck, like, I can't even describe. And I mean, when Beckett went through his stuff, that's what really sent me over the edge into pills. And luckily, none of this drove me to want to take pills. I will say election night was rough. And that was the first time since 2022 that I was like, I would like an Ambien right now. I would like to take this pill and for my brain to turn off, because I am so fucking terrified. But I was good. And I reached out and told my friend Jenna. I told Drew. I wasn't going to do it. And I didn't even have access to anything. But I didn't. I was really upset that was kind of the thing that set me off. That I was like, motherfucker, really? Really? Like, and I was right. It's all bad. I'm going to be sent to the bad place when it's Handmaid's Tale. So yeah, like, none of that made me want to relapse. And then being around my mother again reminded me of why I didn't want to be around my mother. And then it was, it was my first international trip with the Maldives. And then it was our first family international trip with Turkey and Greece. And wouldn't you know, Mom couldn't help herself not to fuck something up that was, something I enjoyed and worked for. So she died too. I want to make this very clear for everyone, because anybody I tell that they died 5 weeks apart is like, oh, she must have really loved him. No. I mean, I'm sure she did in her own way, but Rose was not capable of loving anybody. It was drugs, because I went in that house and she had pain pills that she had filled 3 days before were gone. Like, she was racing to the death. And my dad, he could have gone to the hospital earlier. He could have done a million things. Like, these were their choices. And seeing karma in your own parents is very shocking. And also reaffirming of everything that I kind of believed in, and that things matter. And we went to a tarot card reader in New Orleans. I'll talk about New Orleans. I've had some trips you guys haven't heard about. So we went to a tarot card reader, and she said that my brother and I's relationship should be 75% normal this time next year. And as you know, he lived with my parents. He got his first job. He's finding a place. We need to get rid of the damn dog, which is just driving me crazy. The great thing about the tarot card reader, was she spent about 80% of the time talking about herself. Like, I know she's in finance. It's mostly male driven. She helps with mortgages. She thinks she's autistic. Her favorite author is autistic. Her favorite author comes in. I understand. I am one of those people. That's why I went into this industry. People like to talk to me. People like to tell me their stories. But when I'm paying you $50, I want to hear. But she did give Drew some really good information. He was smart and asked questions. I was getting tarot and psychic kind of mixed up in my mind, and was like, no, you need to tell me. Like, I was testing her. So I didn't ask as many questions as I maybe should have. But she did tell me that business I want to go into is good. I should just focus on myself with it. And anybody else would mess it up. So that was good to know. Like I said, my relationship was 75% normal with my brother. That's what's also tough when you get these readings. Like, someone, I got a reading and they're like, you have 5 grand crosses. And I'm like, okay, what does this mean? And they're just like, it's good. It's really good. Everything's good. And when I went to her, she's like, everything looks good. Everything looks good. Like, what does that mean, though? Everything looks good. Okay, nothing bad is happening, but what good is coming? That's what I want to know. What good is coming my way? Am I getting my TV show based on my life called Middle Age? I would love that because everyone tells me I have main character energy. I understand how that could be a bad thing to people, but I don't take that as a bad thing because we will. Like, Drew and I started watching Platonic, and Rose Byrne, you are my spirit animal. Like, Drew has Justin Theroux. Rose Byrne, like, I love you. You are beautiful. You are talented. And watching Platonic, Drew keeps looking at me. He's like, is this you? Like, literally the episode last night, she's eating a Cinnabon at the airport. It fell on the ground. Then she's like eating it. Like, it just, I know when people say that to me, it's just, I am such like, woo. And I see characters on TV that are like me and they're the main characters. So I know that there's a market for me. I just haven't picked it up yet, but that's okay. Yeah, the trips I've been on that you guys haven't heard about is I went to LA with my friend Yvonne for Dave Matthews Band concert because LT Ryan, that's right, LT Ryan, amazing author, bought Brenda and I tickets. Poor Brenda passed away of cancer a week after my dad passed away. So I did lose 3 people this year that I was very close with. That was different. But I took my friend Yvonne and we flew, and it was funny because we sat next to like this boy. I mean, he was 24 years old. We found out. But I mean, he looked like a kid to us. And like, he was just so excited to sit next to us and kept joining in on our conversations. And I offered Yvonne an edible and he goes, well, I want one. And we kept hitting dispensaries wherever we went. So like we stopped in Boston, we hit a dispensary. We stopped in JFK, we hit a dispensary. I got something in Colorado when we went before. So I kind of have this like mixture of stuff. And I gave him what I thought was a mint because I bought mints. And I said, chew it. And he swallowed it. With Yvonne's drink, too, I might add. He just, like, grabbed her drink and took it. And then I'm like, no, it's a mint. You're supposed to chew it. So he chews the next one. And he's like, because I thought they were just 5 milligrams. She's like, oh, it's so nasty, this and that. I'm like, I don't know, dude. And he, like, took Yvonne's drink. She's like, yeah, yours now. So then I tried one. And I was like, this is weird. This doesn't taste like a mint. And I spit mine out. So we got off. And it was so funny. There was, like, this old white guy that kept leaning over. Like, he was in the same row, but in the other aisle. And he kept leaning over, like, men do this all the time, and sometimes women do it too, where you can tell they want to join in on my conversation, our conversation. I don't want them to necessarily sometimes. So we are ignoring old man. Then he was on the same, what's it called, bus as us to get to the lift area. And he's like talking to Yvonne, and Yvonne is so nice. And that's what I said. She goes, he's not talking to you. I said, I have a bitch face. Like my mom taught me in these situations how to be. Like, she's like, don't fucking make eye contact. Like, if you're in the car, you fucking stare straight ahead. You ignore it. And that's kind of what I've instilled in my kids. So I'm like, just ignore it. Don't make eye contact with him. He's like, he's not trying to talk to you. I'm like, because I have a look on my face that I do not want to fucking talk to him, Yvonne. You're too nice. And then that night we went out to dinner. My friend Joanne, who I love so much, her son worked at a restaurant, Leora, in LA. Food was great. Like, we got there, we sat outside, but it was weird because it was like in an office park. So we go up and I'm like, where's this restaurant? And this like creepy white doughy security man boy like took us there. And it was like it was like I said, it was weird. It was like in an office, but like on the outside. I don't know. It was weird. And we got it and we're looking at the menu and I don't even remember what I got now. But Yvonne was looking at it and there was something called branzino, but it said like spinach and tomatoes. And both of us, for some reason, just thought that's what it was. And the dish was called branzino. So she gets it and she's like, what's this fish? Why is there fish here? So we're asking a waiter, Connor, Joanne's son, and he's like, that's branzino. So now we know branzino is a fish and it looked pretty good. And she really liked it. So like we were dying. And then also we were talking about something and she said, go down on you in a theater. And I said, oh, I'm going to see Alanis Morissette in October. And she's like, I love that you knew what I meant. And I was like, oh, yes, in the theater. And then I started talking in this weird voice because I've done this since I was little, where I was like, the theater. And then I was joking that Joanne's son was hot and that I was going to I was like, oh, I think she'd pardon a bone. Like, I was joking that I was going to bone her son. And like, I was going to ask her if it was okay. And like, pardon a bone, I thought was so funny. I told Drew and he loved it too. And then I had to go to the bathroom in this office park. And so I'm going and that like creepy security guard just like comes around the corner. He's like, it's over here. And I just went because it was a bathroom. I came back and I told Yvonne and she's like, Sarah, what are you doing? I'm like, well, he was the security guard. She's like, you're lucky that nothing happened because I was just like, come rape me in this bathroom, security man. Like, no big deal. But we made it and we were fine. And the next day we went walking around LA a little bit. We went into this lame ass thrift store. I wish I remembered the name of it because it was some fucking dude. And we went in and he's like, oh, I saw you ladies coming in my store, like blah, blah, blah. And he's like, where are you from? We're like, Arizona. And he's like, oh, Scottsdale in the house. I bet you're looking for Skims and shit. And I was like, no, sir, we are not looking for Skims, but thank you. Then he was like, yeah, I was a model and I used to style Rihanna. And like he had it was fucking Goodwill, like Looney Tunes shirts for $40. Like, this is good. You went to Goodwill and picked this out. And there's nothing in my being that makes me think that you actually styled Rihanna. Also, by the way, whatever your name was. And then he like tried to talk Yvonne just to changing in the middle of the store. And he's like, oh, I was a model. I'm just changing anywhere. And I was like, yeah, we're going to go. We found some better stores. But they also had an awesome dispensary there, which I got a patch and I got some other stuff that I really enjoyed. And it was funny because there was a sign on the window that said like, no cash or something. We carry no cash. And I knew that meant that they don't keep cash overnight. They have a drop so you don't get stolen from. And Yvonne's like, do you guys take cash? He goes, yeah, nobody ever knows what that sign means. I go, oh, no, it means that you guys don't. You have like, and he's like, oh, it's like, you're literally the only person that ever knew this. I'm like, well, apparently I'm the only person that ever worked retail that came in here. So we're good. We ate at the restaurant in our hotel, which was very nice. And it was the Kempton Inn. Like, it was very nice. It was in Beverly Hills. And I ordered a Caesar salad that was literally like half just a head of romaine lettuce. And like I had to make it myself. I was hacking into this like a dead body. It took forever. Then our Lyft gets there and it's Claudia. And Claudia is the little older lady and it was like 30 minutes to the concert, Dave Matthews Band. We're already running a little behind and we're on the highway and she slams on her brakes and I see a car in front of us and I just close my eyes. I think I grabbed Yvonne's hand too. I was just kind of like, this is how we go. And we got rear-ended. I thought it was going to be like multiple. Like, I was ready, but we got rear-ended and she got off the highway. It was a hit and run. And so we're like on this offshoot of fucking LA. It's so ghetto. We're by like a storage unit where the alarm's going off because somebody tried to break in. There's a dispensary across the street that I almost walked to. Yvonne is like in shock, just sitting there. Claudia's shaking and freaking out. And I'm like, you need to call. So she's calling them and then she keeps talking and she's like, and this is my third accident. And I'm like, Claudia, stop talking about how many accidents you've been in. And then I had to call another Lyft to get us to the concert and he almost crashed. But so I was like, sorry, Claudia, we got to go. And then we found out from poor Claudia, she got fired because it was her third accident. Not our fault at all. Like, we didn't complain about her. So I'm also waiting to hear from Lyft because ow, my neck and back. I got rear-ended. Would hate to tell everyone how shitty you were, Lyft, about how we got rear-ended and then you never contacted me, but don't worry, I'll reach out. And then we went to the mall the next day and I got a Coke Labubu from the store. And it was so weird. Like, you had to wait in line to get in the Labubu store. Then they had none in there, but you could buy them online. So I'm literally looking at a Coke Labubu. I have to buy it and then go over and be like, yep, I bought in-store pickup. And I got it. That was the only one they had. So I was super bummed. And then we went to Uniqlo and just had a lot of fun. And it was weird though, because Yvonne and I line up on weird stuff. Like, I woke up to go to the bathroom. It was like 3 a.m. and I waited like 10 minutes. And then I decided to stand up and we like were facing each other. Like, we both decided to go to the bathroom at the same time. Weird stuff. Love you, Yvonne. And then like 2 weeks later, we had VoucherCon, which was a conference for thriller writers. And this is a lot of traditional published. So Drew is self-published, which doesn't have as much like acclaim, but they make significantly more money. Like, a lot of these full-time authors that you see, not like a Freedom of Fadden or a Stephen King, but a lot of these full-time authors have to have second jobs because they don't get paid much for their books. So it was really funny to see all these old-timers that don't make fucking shit kind of turn their noses at the self-published. And I mean, we were hanging out with Lee that makes $200,000, $300,000 a month. Franklin, my long lost uncle from Virginia will hit 7 figures this year. Drew, like all these people are making bank that they were all turning their noses up at. And I was like, well, I don't fucking have time for you either. And then Drew also had the worst allergies in New Orleans. Like, I don't know what was going on. It was super bad. And I take an antihistamine for nighttime itching because that was a weird side effect of the pills. So I take 4 at night. And I thought, well, take the one, it might help. And knocked his ass out. Like we went to one little, because it was also all panels. Like normally they have like presentations. This was all just 4 panels. So we went to the panel that I wanted to go to. They had Diane Fanning and Catherine Ramsland, who both were on this podcast, as you've seen. Thank you, guys. And then we had to go back, and he went to sleep. And we went on, Drew and I went to New Orleans in 2019, and it was amazing. We loved it. It was our favorite city. I went on a garden tour with Drew's mom. It was amazing. We did a ghost tour that was amazing. We just really loved the city. And this time I did we did a garden tour with our friends Robin and Jim. And it sucked. Like the city apparently closed down this cemetery that used to be a big part of the garden district tour. So we couldn't go in there. And like our garden district tour was her like showing us, oh, do you know what this is? And like quizzing us and then like getting mad when we didn't know and like just kind of showing us some houses. Like there weren't very good. So finally I'm like, are we going to see the Coven house on this? Because when we came in 2019, we did a Coven tour, but they didn't take us in the house that the girls lived in. And they're like, oh, that's in the garden district. And it was our last day, so I didn't get to see it. So she's like, no, but I'll take you to it. And I'm like, good, because that's like the only thing you've done. So saw the Coven house, super cool. And then we did a ghost tour the next night as a group. And it wasn't good. I've been on good ghost tours. It wasn't like, it was way too many people. We probably had 30 people in the group. And it was like everyone was on a ghost tour that night. You get down by the NOLA Mansion and there were probably 18 different groups just play. Like it sucked. And he's like, nobody goes on the stage side of the street is NOLA Mansion. Like it's not good. Like you get haunted. And so of course I was like, well, I want to walk over there. Don't tell me what not to do. And we took some pictures and I didn't really look at them. And Natasha had set this up and she goes, oh, look at the pictures we took. And there's a blue orb. And she goes, look at your pictures that you took last night. And I looked and sure as shit, wouldn't you know, at the NOLA Mansion, I had some green orbs. And then there was this bed and breakfast that Drew had wanted to stay in that we didn't, but they say is super haunted because it used to be a boys' school. And in the picture I took of that, I'll send it and Sam can put it in here, but you can see like in the window, a little green boy. And I was like, oh my God, I was like so excited. I gave this guy so much shit about how shitty this ghost tour was. And I actually caught 2 ghosts finally. I was like, yes, been waiting for years for this. So that was really, really cool and exciting. And it was fun to hang out with everybody and be in New Orleans. We were walking to a piano bar one night and this gentleman backed up and looked at me and said, I would lick that. And I go, Tara, did he? She goes, yep, keep walking. He said he wanted to lick you. Keep walking, Sarah. Like there's sometimes the small town in me just comes right out. And I was like, oh my, okay. And then there was like a gentleman on the ground sleeping who was unhomed. It looked like I couldn't tell if it was pee or water. New Orleans is a lot. But we made really good connections. I had a great time. I love Franklin. Franklin, if you're listening, I love you. He was telling me the story. We were sitting waiting for Drew's panel, and he's like, I was telling my friends that I just want to drown my mom, you know? And they all looked at me like I was a monster. And I was just like, Sarah would understand. And I was like, I do understand, Franklin. I'll help you drown your mom if you need help with that. Like that's who I am as a friend. Like, I always thought I was the Carrie Bradshaw of the group, and there is a lot of Carrie in me. But I'm also Samantha, where I give no shits. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to judge you for doing what you want to do. Certainly if you're not if you're in my circle, no judgment. Like, you murdered somebody, cool. Let's take care of it. Like, whatever. There's no judgment here. So Sarah is a judgment-free zone. And 41. Let's launch into what 41 is going to look like. I mean, we have Author Nation coming up in a month where we get to I get to help run the conference. James Patterson will be there. We're invited to a VIP night with James Patterson. I've got all my Vegas glittery clothes going on. I get to see everybody. I am really excited. I'm especially excited because, like I said, this is where MAMM was born. Middle-Aged Millennial MILF Podcast was born at Author Nation last year. And I mean, thank you, Kevin Smith. I'm going to reach out to Bri and have you on. But Kevin Smith, you are the reason that all this happened. You called me up on stage. You gave me the confidence. You got me with Brian. And you kind of made me put my money where my mouth is, because I said I was starting this podcast and I needed to. So Bri, I'm going to need you to get Kevin's information to me, because I do want to have him on as a 1-year guest. But things are looking really good for us. So we have Author Nation coming up. In February, we have a cruise on Virgin. Ooh, first time in Miami, first time going there. Very elite, like work cruise. I also have Koshka, which is this amazing Parisian designer that I'm going to be helping in November with a trunk show. So I don't even want to say trunk show. It's a super designer showcase. So do with that what you will. But yeah, I just think that 41, Drew and I have been talking, and this year was a lot of personal stuff, and we traveled a lot. And this year is really just focused on putting our heads down and working and making money and getting my parents' house sold and getting this all resolved. And it sucks. It really does suck, because even though I was no contact, I still love them. Like, we were flying back from New Orleans, and I feel so bad for this woman, but there was this older lady sitting next to me. She was about Mom's age, and like she like was playing solitaire on her phone and got like herself a Bud Light, and I was just like bawling. I was just bawling, like thinking about my mom, thinking about her wasted potential, like just like how unhappy she was. Like, it really affected me. And I feel so bad, like me being like, oh, lady, your life is so fucking depressing. You made me cry. Like, I don't want to say that to that poor woman, but it did. And my parents' lives, what wasted potential and what they could have done. And that's been the other thing that's really, I think the theme of this year was seeing what happens when you waste your potential and you don't fix the things that are wrong. And I don't want to be that person. And I'm not. And I cut my parents out, and it sucks that we didn't have a reconciliation, but clearing out their messy ass house and seeing how in the weeds they were. And it's funny, because we were telling friends this whole, the whole story. We hadn't seen him about, me and this and my brother. And our friend was just looking at me. He's like, how did you turn, like, how are you how you are? And they were all like this. And I'm like, I don't know. A lot of therapy. I know exactly who I am and what I stand for, and you're not going to talk me out of it. But also, I'm self-aware to know that sometimes I come off like an asshole. Sometimes I come off pompous. Sometimes, like, I would annoy me if I was somebody else in certain situations. And I think that that's what a lot of people are lacking. Drew and I've talked about this extensively, is self-awareness. Like, MAGA people, I don't think have any self-awareness. I don't whatsoever. I think that they just go through life and they're just like, yep, this is what you do. But you kind of have to know how you come. Like, that's a part of, I'm not saying you need to mute yourself, but understand how you could come off to other people and how things could be interpreted. And then that's how you kind of live your life. So not that you don't give a shit, like, and especially if you wouldn't take their advice, don't take their criticism. And there are very, very few people in this world I would take their advice from. Because, I mean, you having to grow up. I don't want to be anybody other than who I've been trying to be lately. And I just think of me and have peace of mind. Sorry, I make myself laugh all the time. But yeah, 40 was a killer year. And helping out, like, with Big Fish and the plays and all that was just so fun. And being Mama Sarah for everybody. Like, I am truly living my best life. But even with all the shit with my parents' probate, all that, like, every day I wake up grateful to who I am, what I've done, and what I've been through and what I've survived, because, I mean, losing your parents 5 weeks apart unexpectedly when you're 40 years old is a lot. And I don't know that everybody can handle that. So I don't think I'm better than people, But I do think that I am equipped to handle a lot more than a lot of people, probably because it was put on me as a kid. And I see how my trauma responses also can kind of be a superpower. And that's also how you need to look at it. Like, our parents fucked us up. Boomers, you fucked your kids up, period. Not all of you, but a lot of you. Like, worst generation ever. Boomers, you suck. But it made me self-sufficient and self-soothing and strong and able to go through things on my own because I had to. I didn't have my parents. Like, when I went over during the withdrawal, when all I needed to hear from my mom was, everything's going to be okay, and you've got this. And I got her crying in her chair saying she doesn't know what to do to help me. That is why you guys failed miserably as parents, is because you never put yourself in our shoes, and you just criticize us and how we don't do things the way you would do them. And when my kids come to me with a problem, I always try to put myself in their shoes. Always try to, you know what I mean? I say Walker gets dumped by Bunny. I'll have the peace of mind to be like, dude, you're going to be okay. But also, I remember being 16 and being dumped and how much that hurt. And no matter what my parents had said, wasn't going to help. So I like that we can kind of go to him and be like, hey, dude, this fucking sucks right now. And it feels like this is awful and it's going to feel like forever. And we're here for you through that. But it won't be forever, honey. And you will meet, like, believe me, I thought that my high school boyfriend, Dana, was the guy. Like, way, like, into my 20s, thought, even though I was married to Ryan, I thought, no, he's the one. And now I'm like, he is just like my dad. Like, it's all fucking so cliche. Like, I am a therapy cliche to the max all the time. And that's the thing, too. Like, being able to kind of have that adult hindsight for them and say, like, no, that you'll be okay. There's other fish in the sea. And we're doing High School Musical this year. I'm very excited. Kylie is fucking killing it as our drama teacher. Her and I are an unstoppable duo. I want to be the talk of Williamsfield High School. This drama mama, crazy bitch Sarah, like, that's who I'm going to be. And I'm going to run my little events and run my conferences, and I'm happy. And it took me so long to be able to say that. And I just remember 2 times, I've mentioned this before, but it's because I remember Drew and I were fighting and I was in the closet. This is during the withdrawal. And I said, I don't even know last time I was happy. I don't know the last time I was happy. And I couldn't, and even now looking back, like, I couldn't tell you when I was happy during that time. And I'm happy all the time now. And I also told my therapist during the withdrawal, I was like, I just want to feel like myself again. I don't even think I knew what that meant at the time, but I just was like, I want to feel like myself again. I'm not myself, and I wasn't. And that's the nice thing. I mean, you guys will get a 4-year sober episode in January, but I can see how far I've come. I can see how strong I am and how this would have broken me before and how it doesn't now and how I can handle it. And I'm just really proud of myself. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with being proud of yourself, because you know better than anybody about the things that you yourself have overcome. I know better than anybody what I've overcome, what I've dealt with, all that. So I have earned the right to be proud and to be disgusted with who I was before. And also clearing out my parents' house and seeing exactly where I got every bad habit. I got I was made. And that's also tough, is that I was never seen as a person. I was seen into who I could mold and be useful to them, or how I was a pawn. And it's just so funny because my mom I don't know, I'm sure now she knows, but she was convinced that Drew was like pulling the strings. I'm sorry. No one can control me. I am going to do what I want to do. I mean, believe me, there are a lot of political things I'd like to say that I'm not saying because I am actually terrified for my life and my children. But sans Nazi America coming after me, I generally say what I want to say. And there's nobody pulling the strings. There's no man and it just goes to show how they never knew me. They only saw me for who they wanted me to be. They saw how, like I said, how I could benefit them. And it sucks. And I am in absolutely no rush to pass away myself. I'd like to make it to 106. But I do look forward to the day when I am in the afterlife and I can talk to them and hopefully hear an apology from them, or like a good job. Thanks for that. You took care of us. And it was weird when it was no contact because I felt like there was this unfinished business. And now that they're dead, it is a lot easier to love them and kind of have their memories. I put pictures of them around. You can see this is me and my dad at a daddy-daughter dance. Check out that badass rat tail I had. That, like, what the fuck was that? But, And then I have their ashes on my desk, and they watch over me, and I love them. And I hope birthday episode next year, all of this feels like a bad dream. Oh, before we go, I have a fun story for you. We're at the airport flying home from New Orleans. We're eating at a restaurant, and there's a guy and there's 2 empty seats. And we kind of go over there and sit in the 2 empty seats. He doesn't say anything. And Drew's like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. So his stuff is sitting in his seat. And I'm on my phone. And this woman comes up to that guy that was sitting there and said something. And then she's like, looks at me and is like, you guys are in my seat. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess so I had to move my stuff and Drew's stuff. Fucking mute ass husband sitting there. Never said a goddamn word. Didn't say, oh, my wife is sitting there. If Putz would have said my wife is sitting there, we would have found a new spot. So I'm like looking around. Luckily, this older gentleman was like, here, honey, come sit over here. And he got us seats. And I was like, thank you. I don't know. And then everyone around was kind of obsessed with what was going on. And I was like, yeah, I don't know why he didn't say anything like the seat is taken. And this woman's like, that was fucking weird, right? I was like, it was fucking weird, ma'am. Yeah, thank you. So whoever the fuck you two were, you fucking weirdos. And they were like the last people to board too. One of those, like they were the last group. So I do hope there was some embarrassment there because believe me, all of us were judging you. All of us were judging you so hard. Those are the fucking assholes just on their phone, fucking sitting there, stupid fucking people. Open your mouth, my man, and be like, my wife is sitting there. Because let me tell you, if I came back and Drew would just let my seat go to somebody, I'd be like, cool, I guess I'm sitting anywhere but next to you. So that was my little fun story. I know Sarah's always looking for a fight, this and that, and people on TikTok. And that, I guess, is also the thing. So many people are fucking stupid. Don't let them bother you. Like, I don't need to hear from Mark, who works at Walmart in Arkansas and lives in a trailer being like, she's too much. Like, you don't stand a chance of being in my orbit, sir. So you can think whatever you want. Like, you're not getting out of Arkansas ever. But for my birthday, I want peace on earth. And no, I do. I would love for things to settle down and for it not to be so scary. But also, guys, this is how it goes. I believe in reincarnation. All of this is proof to me that reincarnation exists because we have Nazi America right now. And he's literally just, it's the playbook. And all of you Christians, just be very careful because I think your religion's bullshit. But if there was an antichrist, it for sure is Trump. So maybe I'm wrong. Like, all this is convincing me that maybe Christianity has some truth in it because it's just that they're all too dumb to realize like it's the bad way and they should stay away. So thank you, Christian nationalists, for fucking up our country. Thank you, MAGA, for giving us Nazi America. And thank you to God for giving me this beautiful life. And I'm so grateful for all of my friends, my kids, my family, the drama department, being on the HOA. I am living my best life. And don't forget, friends, make stay your bitch. I'm Sarah Strickland. Everyone have a happy birthday out there.